Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Nix. Today I want to ramble on a bit about last weekend's speech from Cyril Ramaphosa. Although there's been a lot of analysis and breakdown in terms of the commission, who was appointed, how much it's going to cost, what I don't feel I've seen is almost a behavioural analysis of how he appeared in front of camera. Because honestly, this was a very different Ramaphosa. This wasn't the normal transformation and reform. He was a blank slate. I mean, did he pop like too many Prozac? What happened? But I tell you one thing, not once did he frown his forehead. It is the first time he's been in front of the camera and didn't act surprised about something. I'm sure there's many people who have said that. But I want to just show you a bit of how he says things. And if you really look at the detail, what he's actually saying, the corruption in the police and the judicial institution, the government, you dilute it with all the problems your bad governing has created in society, aka theft, murder, gender-based violence. So let's dive right in. Let's see what he says. I'm looking forward to hearing what you think about each of these. Enjoy, drop a comment. The repetitive amount of times he uses the word allegedly, 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 and allegedly.
Of a sophisticated criminal syndicate that has allegedly infiltrated law enforcement and intelligence structures in our country. Lieutenant Mckwanazi alleged that the Minister of Police allegedly interfered with sensitive police investigations. To address these allegations and the implications of these allegations.
Okay, flip number 2. He's deadpan. He's not a furrow, not a frown, not a, oh, no. I mean, he's surprised about every other thing happening in South Africa. Like every other economic disaster, state of Joburg, white crosses, alles. But when it comes to corruption and police meddling in affairs, I am a robot. I am here to read the speech off the prompter. You can actually hear how he's like, because he's spoken too fast. He doesn't have the enunciation right. Cyril parrot Ramaphosa. He was literally reading a, what's it called, a teleprompter. And from what I can tell, he hadn't prepared. He hadn't read the speech before he arrived. I don't know. I don't know how that would work. I mean, but there he is, talking about corruption and the political meddling of police, politicians, etc. And he is a freaking robot.
Unmasked a syndicate controlled by a drug cartel, which involves politicians, law enforcement officials from the South African Police Service, Metro Police, correctional services, prosecutors, and the judiciary, as well as business people.
The third clip. I watched on Sunday. I generally prefer not to watch him live, or actually I generally prefer not to listen to him. That voice, the evil within it, the deception, it's just laced with deception and condescending blah, blah. Anyway, when he spoke about this in the next clip I'm going to show you, I screamed at my TV. I was horrified. How dare you dilute the corruption of your political party the corruption in the police and the judicial institution, the government, you dilute it with all the problems your bad governing has created in society, aka theft, murder, gender-based violence. What are some of the other ones? I can't remember. He'll tell you in the speech. You diluted the allegations of corruption towards yourself, you switched it up, and you pointed fingers to all the issues in society in exactly the same way you did, where you and your White House partners did when you were in America. Oh no, don't worry, we're corrupt, but also there's a lot of murder and gender-based violence. So you know what, it's all beep, it's all beeped. So, who cares? The gender-based violence, the murder rate, the unemployment is because of your corrupt police and ANC party, is because of your complete and utter failure to do any sort of leadership whatsoever. I mean, are you actually blind, or are you the robot you seem to appear to be in front of these cameras? Don't dilute the corruption allegations against the ANC and the police and the judicial thing by bringing in all the other societal issues created by the mismanagement of you, allegedly. Anyway, let's take a look at that clip.
South Africans are concerned about corruption and the rise of criminality in our country, which manifests itself in the killing of innocent people, gender-based violence, gang violence, kidnappings, construction mafia criminality, and in many other ways.
The next clip. I mean, to have the absolute balls to say, oh, yeah, no, stuff like this undermines public trust in the police. There's a bigger force of personal security in South Africa than police. It is well known in our world, Cyril, because we're struggling to understand which world you're living in, but in our world, we all know very well you would rather call your neighbor than the police. In fact, in the police report for last year, the police hotline center was brought up as one of the biggest issues. So, more lies.
These allegations, if proven true, threaten to undermine the confidence of South Africans in the ability of the South African Police Service to protect them and to effectively fight crime and corruption.
But here's another graph, and here's another graph, and here's another graph showing you statistically over the years how trust in government and the police has resulted in these allegations. And then when you look at those graphs, you can see now why. Because this is the spend our government has done over the years on military, I'm sure the salaries, however, went up and went up and went up, and the workforce went up and went up. So your goods and services ratio, which is used to buy stuff, and then your employee bill starts looking a little wonky, Cyril. Kind of like your approach to dealing with corruption. This clip is disgusting. This clip is the example I want to make that Cyril did not read his speech before he arrived in front of that teleprompter. He was stumbling over his words struggling to get into any sort of flow. And if you'd like to know my opinion on that, it's because he wasn't able to use his spoeg en plak, copy and paste script that he uses for everything else. Oh, a transformed society, an equal society, reform, transformation, apartheid, legacy, BEE. We will do best. We will do what's best for our people. And when you hear Cyril talking about reform, transformation, he has beautiful English, his what's that, enunciation, impeccable. That's European first world training, guys.
The Minister has undertaken to give his full cooperation to the Commission to enable it to work properly. I have decided to appoint Professor Firoz Kachalia as Acting Minister of Police.
What I quite enjoy about the next clip is that he's talking about whistleblowers and that we must protect them and serve them and etc. Kudos to Biz News, by the way, because yesterday, the very following Sunday, they have Sarah, I think her name is, the attorney on Biz News, talking about the dangers of whistleblowing. So no, Cyril, again, we are still trying to figure out what world you live in. Because we all know and are very well familiar with the fact that whistleblowing is most likely to get you or your family members killed. And if it doesn't do that, it will for sure ruin your reputation, ruin your life, create huge financial destruction.
In establishing this Commission of Inquiry, we are affirming our commitment to the rule of law, to transparency, and to accountability, commission of any other criminal offenses and intimidation, victimization or targeted removal of whistleblowers or officials that are resisting criminal influence.
It's exactly what he says. He sees whistleblowers or officials resisting criminal influence.
Or officials that are resisting criminal influence.
My question is, what made you use the word resisting? It's a very strange word. Whistleblowers or officials holding up the legislation and laws of our Constitution. But you said officials resisting criminal influence. Strange that. In fact, Cyril, I think, finds himself in a position where there's no one to rally behind government, specifically the ANC. Everybody's starting to see the shit show. Everybody's starting to understand that being associated with the ANC might result in future sanctions. It's inherently damaging to your reputation, and or it will be in the future. So, yeah, very interesting to see that you should not be rallying on officials and South Africa to do the very work you've failed to do. Sorry, but it's not going to happen. What we are going to do is rally behind a motion of no confidence, a protest to force you to step down. Cyril must fall. And right behind Cyril, the ANC must fall. Because this time, it's not about the leader of government. This time, it's about the party itself, the ANC. who think they are the government. I mean, regtig mense, did your parents not teach you how to share your toys? I'm speaking specifically to the ANC now. I do that, always speak directly to the perpetrator, alleged perpetrator. Anyway, in closing, I'm going to show you an example of Cyril referring to our people. Ugh, he says it all the time, guys.
I lead, we take our own decisions based on our considerations of everything that will advance the interests of our people. And we are also enhancing the work that is underway to build a South Africa in which all our people are safe and secure.
What do you think of these behaviors that I've gone through? You know, am I dreaming? Am I living in my own little fantasy land? Love to hear from you. Give me feedback. Also, I'm posting a poll later today. I want you to let me know if you want a financial look into CETA or Education Board for this week's Follow the Money video. So obviously CETA, because there's been whistleblowing and a lot of media coverage in terms of their institution. Following right behind them is the current Education Board deputy minister, who doesn't even rock up for the meeting. I mean, flip. How, they're spitting in our face. I keep saying we have an abusive attachment to the ANC. We're in an abusive relationship with the ANC, and we're so used to it that we can't see the wood from the trees anymore. I mean, I think that's changing now, but anyway. Sorry, I went on a tangent. The point being, follow the money video, CETA or Education Board. Look out for the poll, answer the poll, then like and share the video. And if you're new to my channel, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Drop a comment, subscribe if you're new, and of course, have a great day. Over and out.